Hi guys, No Life 4 here. Welcome to the second official slice of development. We've got updates on Bikini Bottom Tales, SpongeBob SquarePants movie Reabsorbed, SpongeBob Town, Bikini Bottom Bash, and even Slicey Dungeon. This last year has been crazy for all of us, so we are very excited to show you what we've been working on. We've got a ton of content in store for you, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. With a new game comes new enemies. Let's check out 2 of them, shall we?
Ow! Hooey!
The Buzzcut is a real menace. As useless as a fodder when you have shield, but without it, your worst nightmare. Dealing very little damage, these little guys are no problem at all. But dealing 3 rapid blows before taunting quickly turns them into a big, big problem. The Wampa is a pretty simple enemy alone, firing out easy to avoid lasers and only taking 2 hits. But in groups, it's a very different story. When it comes to BBT, combat works a wee bit differently than before. This time, moves can be combined together to get different effects for different situations.
Didn't think the ink would be this blobby. I could open these presents all day. Hiya! I didn't know destroying tikis could be so rewarding. I love it! These tikis are no match for my wood-smashing karate skills. Gotcha!
These moves may start out rather weak, but not for long with the brand new...
With my Enhancertron 3000, you'll be tougher than a Raging Bull in a classic rodeo.
I didn't know destroying tikis could be so rewarding. I love it!
I've got more doodads than a Texas grandpa on Christmas.
Wow, I'm having a lot of deja vu today.
Come in, SpongeBob. I've got some new upgrades for you. Over.
tikis are no match for my wood-smashing karate skills.
Handy to SpongeBob. How about some upgrades to get stronger? Over.
Gotcha! It's like a living cube rope.
As you see, these combinations and upgrades will be super useful when fighting robots and destroying tikis, which just so happens to be exactly what you need to do for this next announcement.
World premiere.
Seriously? You again? Will you get out of here? Anyways, on with the announcement.
It was a warm summer evening in Bikini Bottom. I'm having a lot of deja vu today. Hammer, I still get it. Hiya! Come fight me, you tin can.
Come in, SpongeBob. I've got some new upgrades for you.
Round and round the buzz cut goes. Ouch! Gotcha.
After SpongeBob and Patrick's adventure, they're hired to direct a film about it. Of course, in SpongeBob and Patrick fashion, things end up more exaggerated than ever. From old noir movies, action movies, to dramas, you will relive their adventure. A while back, we realized Slice Collection was simply getting too large and ambitious for a demo, and decided to make it the actual start to Bikini Bottom Tales. We also found that it didn't give a proper cut of the game, so we decided to give you guys the first director's cut map instead. Not only will this feature a story of its own, but it will also contain more locations than just Jellyfish Fields, like Goofy Goobers, Krusty Towers, and even Industrial Park. We personally feel this gives you guys a better slice of everything BBT. We've got another surprise for you. Here's over 20 minutes of Director's Cut gameplay.
This guy's a real buzzkill. Aye, aye, aye. It's like a living jump rope. Round and round the buzz cut goes. I didn't know destroying tikis could be so rewarding. I love it! Ouch! Ow! This guy's a real buzzkill. Ow! Ow! Gotcha.
I've got more doodads than a Texas grandpa on Christmas.
Are no match for my wood smashing karate skills. Ow! deja vu today. Mean old bucket of bolts. I'm having a lot of deja vu today. Ouch! It's like a living jump rope. This guy's a real buzzkill. Aye, aye, aye. I could open these presents all day. This guy's a real buzzkill. Aye, aye, aye. How shockingly small. It's like a living jump rope. That thing could slice up a triple Krabby Supreme with just one spin.
I didn't think Plankton Megatron's name. Let this be a lesson to y'all. Copyright is as relentless as a porcupine stuck in a pecan pie.
How shockingly small. It's like a living jump rope. Ow! It's like a living jump rope. Ouch! Ouch! It's like a living jump rope. I'm having a lot of deja vu today. I could open these presents all day.
I've got more doodads than a Texas grandpa on Christmas.
Ow! Hiya! Ouch! Ow!
When it comes to SpongeBob Town and Bikini Bottom Bash, they've always been our less popular projects. Well, we have some rather big news for all of you. We are canceling both of these games. Well, rather combining them. I'm proud to announce our brand new game in development, Bikini Bottom Online. This is a working title and will most likely be changed in the future. Bikini Bottom Online is a very unique combination. BBO is an MMO platformer with RPG mechanics and social elements. Imagine fighting robots in jellyfish fields with your friends, doing quests to level up, and playing minigames based around your favorite SpongeBob games. BBO takes place at the same time as BBT in our timeline. Create a character, fight the Inked, and help save your Bikini Bottom. Right now, this game has only just started development, and will be building off of BBT as a base. I'm also here to announce that the Avail team has been dissolved, and is now a full subset of Slice Interactive. This was done to increase productivity and cooperation with the rest of the team. I'm excited to show you more of BBO, and to see what all of you think.
What is the problem with you, man?
Shut up and listen to me. You are gonna answer my questions, whether you like it or not. So listen up, because we're gonna switch to a live pre-recorded segment, and if I hear you open that crusty mouth to complain, I'm going to fuck.
Yes, I'm very excited to answer your questions right now. There's a lot to go over.
I know, right? So let's start then.
Yeah, well, let's get the show going.
So, before actually starting, I'm gonna separate this section into 3 chunks so it's easier to follow along. Visual changes, quality of life improvements, and gameplay changes. Let's start with the visual changes. The main question would be related to the game's rushed art style, in particular the cutscenes. Is there gonna be an overhaul to the cutscenes, and how is it gonna be made?
Alright, so for the cutscenes, we do plan to make them, overhaul them a little. Not too terrible, it's not gonna be like a movie, if you know what I mean. It's not gonna be the simple slideshows you see in the original, because it just looks meh. Ugh. We definitely want to recreate those into looking like a 3D area, and the camera pans around it. It's cool. We already have a demo for it made to where what it looks like. So yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty good. So it's basically the same thing. It's just actually 3D modeled areas.
All right.
With the camera panning around. I think you guys will like it.
Okay, that's nice. So the next question is, what are your plans for the collectible extras?
All right. So for the collectible extras, right? The treasure chest, yeah. So you would collect the treasure chest, and it wouldn't always be concept art, but it would also be stuff like costumes, right? Video clips would be you getting it from unlocking a cutscene. So yeah, never mind that. So basically the treasure chest would probably be rehydrated, where it replaces the concepts, a lot of the concept art with ours, with what we did for the movie game. That's the plan for the collectible extras. So if you collect a treasure chest that has concept art, it'd probably be concept art of some item that got remade, and a good concept of what it could look like with extra detail. But yeah, that's it.
Alright, I see. So, is the game's art style gonna be more similar to the original game, or to the actual movie itself? Or is it going to be a mixture of both?
I would say a mixture of both, because there's a lot of things in movie that I would love to include in the movie game. Because not a lot of things in the movie game, because since we have more hardware limitations, we can add more to the remake. especially like stuff from the movie, which we've already have done that so far with a lot of things, like the Goofy Goober clock, for instance. It wasn't the original, but it wasn't like all animated and all that. But it's going to be a mixture of both because, you know, back then in 2004, they were very limited to what they could add. Not only that, they were being rushed, so they couldn't really add a lot of good detail like we're doing. So yeah, no, it's going to be a mixture of both.
Okay, so in that same vein, how similar to Rehydrated, like BFBB Rehydrated, are the visuals gonna be?
Alright, so BFBB Rehydrated, look, it's a beautiful game. I love the game. I love how it looks. I love exploring some of the levels. Jellyfish Fields is probably, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's where I first seen that in the Gamescom demo. I really liked it. But I will say, a lot of things from Rehydrated don't feel like SpongeBob, and I will admit that. Like, Jellyfish Fields, let's be honest here. When you're looking at the cartoon, it's not all dynamic grass. It's weird, you know? Which, I mean, and I respect their art style, and it's pretty. But for us, we might have some things that would probably remind you of Rehydrated, but we do plan on trying to stick with the original SpongeBob art style, especially for Jellyfish Fields. Is actually going to be grass overhangs, and we're going to have some tall grass. I mean, it's just nice little visuals, but it's not going to be covering the whole place like Rehydrated did it. Some things might look like it. Other than that, yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that.
So lastly, but actually most importantly, the game's sounds. How will the voice acting, the soundtrack, and the general sound design be handled?
Alright, so the voice acting, I don't know. I don't completely know how that's going to work because we could use the voice actors that we're using for Bikini Bottom Tales. But then again, it would be kind of weird, kind of jarring. I mean, well, it would be more jarring though to like use the original voice acting clip, like voice clips from the original movie. Like higher, make it more higher quality. I just don't know if we would hit a copyright thing there, but I'm not sure. But like, it'd be kind of jarring to play Bikini Bottom Tales with like different voice actors, and then play the movie game with like the same voice actors, you know. So I mean, it depends. We might redo the voices, but we'd try our best to keep it very faithful, so it doesn't sound too different. The soundtrack will most likely be like it's gonna sound. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna remix it, but don't worry. We're not gonna like remix it into like very different, not at all fitting like the original did. We just plan to like make it sound a little more way better. So instead of like Rehydrated, it like where they basically got the original, like they got like stereo, which I mean we could do that. So we would actually have it like redone, but not like sounding completely different. We'd try our best to make it sound the same. And the general sound design will most likely be handled by one of the people on our team. They've like made a lot of sound design for the Bikini Bottom Tales of what we got so far. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. They're very talented. I mean, I could say their names. The later No Life 4. He's the one that's done all the sound designs. He's pretty good at it. And yeah, that's all I got. He'll probably most likely handle some of the sound redesigns in the movie game.
So that's pretty good. I think now we're good to move on to the quality of life improvements. So my first question for that is, what are your plans for the many additional challenges in the sliding and driving levels? Because people often consider those the low points of the game and stuff.
Alright, so for the additional challenges in sliding and driving levels, I know a lot of people really don't like those levels for good reasons. I think we're probably going to we're probably going to make it less annoying. I still want to give it challenge, you know? I feel like we should still like give it challenge, but also try to make it less annoying. So for instance, the ring challenge. I hate that to death. I hate it with a passion. For the driving levels mainly. So I'm thinking for the like ring challenges, they shouldn't go out as fast as they usually do. They should at least give you a little time when it goes to red. Yeah, we do plan to like revamp a little bit of it to make it a little less annoying, like not tedious to play. You know, normally that the paddy wagon controls will definitely have better controls. Trust me, it isn't going to be all slidey and draggy and all that. Yeah, that's all I got to say there. And then like the sliding would also be a little bit better, but yeah, that's all I got to say there.
Alright, so it's known that this game has a pretty big speedrunning community. You guys plan on like patching out speedrunning tricks on purpose with updates or stuff? Or are you just gonna let them happen naturally?
It depends. If it's not game breaking, then yeah, why not? Like, you know, if the casual can't like bump into it accidentally, then I think it's fine. But if it is pretty game breaking, we'll have to like take it off, like patch it, because we don't want our game to be very easy to break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it depends. Like, you know, like if it's not hurting anything and it's a little hard to get the trick to work, and you know people who like to use it for speedrunning, yeah, heck yeah, let them, you know, keep it in.
So this next question is based off a well-known fact that the boss fights in this game are kind of bad and unpolished. Like, most of them can be cheesed if you have the upgrades, and they last very little, but when you have no upgrades, they like take way longer than they're supposed to. So are there plans to overhaul the boss fights?
Alright, so this is actually what got me stuck from ever getting further into the movie game, sadly. I got stuck on the dentist boss fight. And where I was a kid, I didn't really pay attention much to the upgrades. So, like the last thing you said there, like, you know, no upgrades, they take way longer than they're supposed to. That's exactly what happened to me with dentist. So I'm planning. I really don't know how we're going to make this to where it's a good balance, but we'll try to figure out something. I definitely don't want it to be like how you said it, because, you know, with a lot of upgrades you can cheese them, but with no upgrades they take a little too long. So I want to try to see if we could find a good balance with that.
Alright, that sounds good. So, will the manliness points scale the same way they did like in the original? Because, for example, after you get a few upgrade points, when you go back to the first levels, they only give you 1 weight points for everything you do, and then the later ones have a higher value. And that has like the benefit of patching out like you being able to farm points, but also you can't really get the max number of manlies, it's almost impossible. So are you guys gonna try to change up the scaling?
Yeah, we might change up the scaling, it depends. We'll probably try to make it a good balance as well. So like when you hunt for the max number of manlies, it wouldn't be impossible. I don't know, we'll think, because, you know, like, our movie game's been very, like, it was rushed back in the day. A lot of things have a lot of flaws, and that's why it's up to us to, like, fix a lot of those flaws, since we don't really have a deadline or anything. We just got to get it out eventually. Because we do plan to, like, you know, release certain demos of, like, certain levels. And so it wouldn't be like, you know, we try to work the whole game and then release it. Like, that's just not going to work that way. But, yeah, no, back to topic. Yeah, we might try to keep it balanced with the manliness point scale.
So lastly for this section, will there be improvements to the general polish of combat? Because like there's a good example here, like the macho spin. Like when you can reflect projectiles, like sometimes it just doesn't, and it's kind of arbitrary. Are you guys gonna change that and polish it up?
Yeah, we might like polish it up a bit more. I never really experienced the macho spin, like being hard to like reflect projectiles. Then again, you know, I mean, some people are different. They don't, you know, sometimes people aren't able to reflect it as easy. I've had certain moments where like I would miss and it would hit me. But we could like try our best to make it more polished there. And not only that, like with Rehydrated, I think that was because Rehydrated, they added like sort of that reflecting projectile mechanic with the chucks. So, you know, they would chuck a missile at you and you would hit it, and it would actually reflect back to him, but it would be harder to do it in Rehydrated. So we'd try our best to like make it a little more easier to like reflect it, but I honestly don't think it's as hard. But I don't know. We'll see. So,
following that up, I think we can finally go over the important bit, the gameplay changes. So, following up the last question, here's probably the most important question of this whole Q&A. How true to the original will the movement be? Like, many people complained that in Battle Rehydrated, the movement was lacking in depth, and it controlled poorly compared to the original. So are there plans to make the movement itself as good as the original game? Like, for example, a bit of tech in the original game is that when you spin in the air, it stalls your momentum. So like, are you guys gonna keep that stuff?
Yeah, I really want to, because with BFB Rehydrated, like when I played it, I mean, it wasn't terrible controlling, I don't think, but it definitely wasn't as smooth and as good as BFBB played, I will admit. So, I want, like, for a movie game remake, I really want to try our best to make them, like, make the movement feel just as good, or if not better, Because, like, in the original movie game, 2004, by the way, it's like literally when you walk as SpongeBob, he moves so smoothly, leaning and all that, and it's so impressive for a 2004 game. Like, it really feels good to walk around with how he leans, and he's got that manliness animation to him. I really want to recapture that, but with more higher graphics and better looking and all that, because the movie itself did a really good job, and I think we could try our best to make it just as good, or if not better. One more thing, this spin stalling, we'll also try our best to keep that in there too, because Rehydrated also has sort of a spin stalling in it, but it's not as good as BFBB, so we would try our best to do that same thing here with movie game.
Alright, that's good to hear. Next up, are you changing parts of levels that like haven't aged well? Or are you just following the layout exactly how they are in the base game? Like, there's some examples, like, we already talked about the ring challenges and stuff, like, but you guys plan on optimize levels in general, just like, so they're not too long, kind of like Sunday driving?
We do plan to, like, keep some the same as the original, but I will say one level that, actually, some levels that I think we could, like, redo and rework them into, like, actually being platforming level, and I'd give it even more like a purpose is one, what's it called, smelly knickknack, like knickknack, googly eyes and knickknacks, right?
Oh, okay, so it's googly eyes and smelly knickknacks, right?
Yeah. I butchered that bad, but like I planned for that level to, instead of it just being a sliding level, because it looks meh. I know it was rushed, so of course they didn't have a lot of time to give it as much like detail as they could. But like my problem with that level is that just it looks kind of awkward and weird to have the cables be like the thing you slide on, and how they're like in the middle of the map, if that makes sense. And you got the Cyclops, which looks kind of like wonky. He kind of looks silly. He doesn't look as terrifying as he should, if that makes sense, because you gotta think, he's supposed to be this big dude, like this big human that's like coming after you, and you're like this really small sea animal. So I think that like we could rework that level into, like, instead of it being like we could have some of it being sliding, but instead of it just being mainly just sliding, it's an actual level. So you actually platform, and it's like, be nice, since we have more hardware limitations, to have it to where everything is more detailed, and it looks like an actual hyper-realistic place, because that's how it was in the movie. It was shot in an actual place, real life place. So I think it'd be kind of cool to like do that here and like make it stand out than all the other levels, and make it look like you're actually in real life, but as the cartoony SpongeBob and Patrick. So yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe have it to where you have to hide from the Cyclops. That'd be kind of cool. The Sunday driving, I don't know. Like, I feel like we could try to keep that as a driving level, but we could also add certain parts to like platforming, so you're also platforming in the dream. So yeah, I mean that's all I got there, but yeah, just a little thing there.
Are there going to be major gameplay changes? Like, in particular, are there going to be changes to the amount of tokens you collect, for example?
Alright, so the tokens, I want to get a good balance on those too, so it's not annoying every time you would go to the next level and Mindy's just like, you don't got enough Goofy Goober tokens. It's like, ugh, you know. I definitely want to find a good balance to where it's not as annoying, but you still gotta pay up, you know? Because that's kind of the main thing about the game. I don't want it to be every single time though, because it's hard to fix that without taking the challenge away, if that makes sense. I want to try our best to make the tokens have a balance so it's not major where because before I had to collect 25 tokens is what it told me for some reason, even though I didn't feel like I could collect 25. I definitely want to make that a little less annoying if I can.
So now lastly, will there be improvements to the general polish of combat? Because as an example of lack of polish, you have the macho spin, or the upgraded spin, which only reflects the projectile sometimes, and sometimes it works fine, and a lot of people have different experiences with some upgrades. There's also the upgraded bash that kind of feels janky to use. So, are you guys gonna improve the combat, the general polish of it?
Yeah, we might polish it up a bit more. I never really experienced the macho spin being hard to reflect projectiles. Then again, I mean, some people are different. They don't, sometimes people aren't able to reflect it as easy. I've had certain moments where I would miss and it would hit me. But we could try our best to make it more polished there. And not only that, with Rehydrated, I think that was because Rehydrated, they added sort of that reflecting projectile mechanic with the chucks. So they would chuck a missile at you and you would hit it, and it would actually reflect back to them, but it would be harder to do it in Rehydrated. So we'd try our best to make it a little more easier to reflect it, but I honestly don't think it's as hard. But I don't know. We'll see.
So the last question would be, are you guys gonna add more levels, in general, platforming levels? Not really talking about making levels that Yesk, that are other types of levels and turn them into platforming. Is there gonna be an extra level, basically?
I honestly don't know, because I mean, it's very, I don't want to disclaim that nor claim that, but I don't know. I mean, that's all I got really for the, if there will be more platforming levels. It could be, you never know.
Alright, so that's all we got time for today. That was really good. Thanks for being here and answering all the questions. And if you guys got any more questions, you can send the questions on our Discord server, and that'll probably be on the description, I think. And if it isn't, shame on you, no life, boo. Yeah, that's kind of just it. I don't have that much more to say. That was the Q&A, and bye, Sloth.
Bye.
Another one? Welcome to the dungeon. Make yourself at home. You've probably got a lot of questions. Where am I? How did I get here? Or, on the off chance, where is my kidney? Just take a deep breath and we'll get started.
Welcome to the dungeon. Make yourself at home.
Did you guys know that we can actually release games? Not BBT, of course. It's a roguelite RPG that you can play with your friends. It's got story, unique bosses, and is loads of fun. The game is currently in beta and has an update on the way. The puzzle update adds procedural puzzles with ranging difficulty and lots of crazy rewards. This update also comes with new swords, runes, and some crazy secrets, so make sure to check it out. We were also working on a standalone short platformer experience based on Slicey Dungeon. This project has been cancelled in favor of Bikini Bottom Tales, and to save me from even more stress. I do eventually plan to expand this world, of course after Slicey Dungeon's completion. Slicey Dungeon is just the first part of the world we are building, so stay tuned for new experiences in the future. You can currently get Slicey Dungeon on the Play Store or on itch.io. In about 1 month, we plan to send builds out to YouTubers, so stay tuned for that. We currently have over 10 YouTubers on board who are ready to make content. This includes, but is not limited to, Bassib, Zachpack, Loopy Longplays, Blue Knight, and more. At the end of June, we will once again be participating in the Rehydrated Relief. And we have a very, very big piece of info for all of you, so don't you dare miss it. The past 12 months has been really difficult for a lot of us at Slice Interactive. Not just because of COVID, but for a lot of personal reasons as well. I myself have gone through more in the past 2 years than I have in my entire life. From building my portfolio to actually working a full-time job, I haven't had a ton of time to focus on BBT and the other projects recently. Past year has been especially hard, as I ran hundreds of miles away from home and am now living with my girlfriend in Kansas. Of course, things still got done, as I'm not the only member of the team, but without me as the central programmer, things really fell behind. I've been working really hard the past few months to finally get things back on track, and to get BBT, especially, in a place we are all happy with. Reaching Alpha was a very big deal for me, as this long journey is finally starting to fall together. I really appreciate all of you for standing by me all this time, and to those of you who are new, for giving me a chance in the first place. There's a lot of hate in this world, but that can very easily be overpowered by love and respect. Slice Interactive and I thank all of you, seriously, for all you've done for us. It may not seem like it, but without all of you, none of us would be where we are today. So, thank you. Why are you still here? There's nothing left. The news is over. The video is over. You can leave. Goodbye. Goodbye. Come back at a different time, but right now is not the time. Okay, you weirdo. I guess you can stick around, but there's nothing here but a black screen. I don't understand why you'd want to look at that, or maybe you're just here to hear my beautiful voice, but it's kind of strange. Okay, I guess just sit around. Okay, I'm gonna go. So if you want to stay, you can stay, but this is getting kind of awkward and weird.